Don't know what this is a weekly broadcast where we learn how to be bosses. We learn how to navigate business using pop culture and celebrity news. All right. I'm going to give you a more detailed description of what that means in just a moment, but I need to set up my other broadcast channels. I am broadcasting on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and as well as Clubhouse. So got a lot of balls in the air. All right. Hey, Kels Butter, how you doing? So yeah, so we're gonna get started officially at 8:05. We've got tons of stories for you guys tonight. Hey, Canada Cape Cod, DC. If you guys are looking for a beautiful all-inclusive resort in the DC area, go check Lucille Verde out at Canada Cape Cod, DC. Well, we've got tons of stories for you guys tonight. If you are a fan of T.S. Madison, we're going to be talking about her. If you watch the Grammys, you can't hear anything. If you can hear me, please give me a thumbs up. Somebody on Instagram said they can't hear anything. Oh, you know what? That might be because I have music playing in the background and Instagram will shut me down. Okay. All right. So as I was saying, we've got stories about the Grammys, Jasmine Sullivan, Katy Perry, um, Russia, how this war with Ukraine could affect of intellectual property. Um, We've got, if you are a fan of the show Ballers, we've got a story for you. If you're a Dua Lipa fan, if you're a Tom Brady fan like myself, I'm from Boston. Don't hate me, okay? Tom Brady, he's my quarterback for life. Whether or not he's in Tampa Bay, whether or not he retired, he gave the Patriots like the best years of his life. So go Tom Brady. Um, and also, if any of you watched the Kanye documentary, Hello Logic One, we have a story for that. So if any of that interests you, stay tuned. We are going to get started at 8:05. We're just going to give people some time to come on into the room. Hello, Prosperity Ave. Hello, Damontian. Um, yeah. So have fun. My Clubhouse darlings, if you want the visual version of this program, you can join me on Instagram at NPL Consulting Firm, or you can join me on Facebook at NPL Consult, or on YouTube if you just look up NPL Consulting LLC. Okay. You don't have to. If you just want to listen, that is fine as well. Okay. Hello, Akaveksha. All right. So we are getting started in just 2 minutes. Grab a drink, grab some snacks, grab some pen and paper. We're going to go over some things, and we're going to learn and have a good time. All right. Um, yeah. Oh, quick announcement. If you guys didn't see my post, I was interviewed by Celeste the therapist a couple of weeks ago, and she released the episode. And it was really good. I enjoyed talking to her. Celeste, she attends the live shows, so and we've talked, personally. So it was a great conversation. So if you are a podcast fan, go to linktr.ee/MPL Consulting Firm, and you can listen to my interview with Celeste the therapist. Okay. All right. So we are about a minute out till we start. Hope you guys are comfortable. We got a wild ride ahead of us, okay? There's a lot going on in the business world. There's a lot going on in the world in general. So get ready, okay? Okay. I don't like that this. All right. We've got a lovely team of people over here in Clubhouse. Thank you all for joining me. We're getting started right now. All right. Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Monday, everybody. You're about to find out, Akaveksha. Welcome. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to NPL Legal Dish. This is my Monday broadcast where I teach business and legal concepts using pop culture and celebrity news. If this is your first time hearing my voice or seeing my face, no matter what platform you are receiving this broadcast on, I am Natalie Pure Lewis. I am the host of the show, and I am the owner and operator of NPL Consulting LLC. LLC, a business formation firm. What that means is I help people like yourself get your business paperwork together. So things like making sure you have your articles of incorporation, getting your EIN numbers and DUNS numbers, making sure you have appropriate contracts for clients and partners. Securing your intellectual property, meaning trademarks, copyrights, and patents, and hiring and training strategies so that you don't get sued for discrimination. Okay, these and more are things that I can help you with. If you're wondering why I'm qualified, I'm very happy that you asked. I'm a licensed attorney. I have been one for 15 years and counting. I've started multiple businesses for myself and others, both online and offline. I've had many careers in the realms of entrepreneurship, the law, education, hospitality, and administrative support. And most important, I am very passionate about making business and legal education as accessible to everyone as possible. Not everybody has the time, the money, or the desire to go to business school or to law school. But a lot of you guys out here, you have some amazing business ideas. And if you're going to be a success in business, there are just some concepts that you need to know. There's no way around it, okay? So that's why I'm here. So if you are in the startup phase of your business and you are just befuddled by the formation process, I want to help you. Or even if you've been in business for a little bit and you're like, you know what, it's time to tighten up, I want to help you. So reach out to me. The best way to do that is to go to linktr.ee/NPL consulting firm. There you can set up a free 15-minute consultation if you are a first-time client. Linktr.ee/NPL consulting firm is also where you can download my free biz launch cheat sheet that will help you choose and start your dream business in 7 days or less. Linktree/NPL consulting firm is also where you can access my digital products. So I have video trainings and ebooks. This month we are focusing on contracts. So you can pick up my contracts ebook for just $9.97, or if you need something that is a little bit more intensive, I have specific contract programs. All right. And Linktree/NPL consulting firm is also where you can get where you can access the links to my other social media platforms so you can follow me and keep up with me. All right. So that is what I do on the business side, on the day-to-day. Let's get to why we are here tonight, all right? This is how the show works, just in case anybody is new. I pull stories from the news, stories that I get from you guys. You guys be in my inbox. Anywhere that I find a story that has a lesson that we can learn as entrepreneurs, I bring it to you guys. We break down the facts and we pull that lesson out and figure out how we can do better. All right. So this is a time for you to get involved. This is a time for you to ask questions, give comments. My friends on Clubhouse, if you have questions or comments, please do not hesitate to raise your hand. All right. But yeah, we are going to have a good old time. We're going to start off with an NPL nugget. If you don't know what an NPL nugget is, NPL nuggets, it is a quick tidbit that I teach you guys about our topic of the month that I teach in just a minute or two. And then we get to our stories. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. Our NPL nugget for tonight. So we have been focusing on contracts for the last couple of weeks. 2 weeks ago, we talked about the essential parts of a contract. We talked about offer, acceptance, and consideration. Last week, we talked about who can enter into a contract. We talked about, the age requirements, that you can't be on drugs, that you can't have a really bad mental issue, that you can't be forced to sign a contract. So this week I want to talk to you guys about some of the contracts that you need in your business. All right. I know that a lot of you conduct business through your DMs and things like that, but that honestly is not the best way to make sure that everybody is on the same page. Having contracts ready for clients and partners just eliminates a lot of confusion. So yeah, you do need a service contract for your clients, regardless of, if you're making something, if you're, providing a service, hey Derek, you need a contract for your clients. You also need a contract for partners. If somebody wants to collaborate with you on something, right? You need something that's going to lay out, how are you dividing the money? Who's responsible for what? How much are we putting in? How much do we get out? All of that. You also need contracts for people that you might hire, right? So, you might make things, you might be a creative, but marketing isn't your thing. So you may need to hire somebody to do your marketing. You're going to need a contract for them as well. Okay. So you need contracts in every aspect of your business, right? Now, there are tons of templates online that you can find, but sometimes people have trouble altering them to their specifications. So if you need a contract done, that is a service that I do offer. I have a package bundle where you can get three, hey Camario World, where you can get 3 contracts for the price of 2. That is $267 for 3 as opposed to $133 for 1. So if you are interested in that, make sure you hit me up wherever you are connected to me, and let's get you straight, okay? Derek Bailey asked, so I can't have a contract with my 8-year-old niece? Absolutely not. You must be of the age of majority to enter into a contract, which is 18, all right? Anyone who is under 18 either has to get parental, permission or, parental permission if you're under 18 to sign a contract, all right? Okay, so that is our NPL nugget. Let's go to our stories. Friends, if you know who T.S. Madison is, please put a lipstick in the comments if you're watching. And if you are listening on Clubhouse, just raise your hand real quick so I can see who is Camario. You can email me about that. Okay, it's customizable. Hello, Andre Harris. Okay. 876 Grimke. Danya knows who T.S. Madison is. All right. Hey, boss lady hair. Kels Butter knows who T.S. Madison is. So if you don't know who T.S. Madison is, she is an internet personality. She's hilarious. She also has been Unique knows who T.S. Madison is. Okay, so do you want to come up to speak? If you want to come up to speak, give me a quick hand raise, just so I know that you guys are raising your hands, but just in case. Just let me know. Okay. Let me see. Unique, did you want to come up? You don't have to. Don't feel obligated. Okay. All right. So what was I saying? Anyway, T.S. Madison, she is everywhere. She has, her own internet shows that she does. She has something called Maddie in the Morning. She used to do the Queen Supreme Court. She used to do it with Kaya, and then her and Kaya fell out, and then she was doing it with a bunch of different guest stars. And recently, her star has risen. She had a show on WeTV called Turned Up with T.S. Madison. And she was in the movie Zola, if any of you saw the movie Zola. So T.S. Madison, she's pretty much everywhere. She is a celebrity, okay? Now, T.S. Madison, she has a very good rapport with her followers, with her audience, right? She's always going live, and she promotes a lot of businesses in her social media broadcast. So I was watching one today, and if you know T.S. Madison, she's always getting her hair done by somebody. And the video that I was watching today, the TS was getting her hair done by this guy, Amir. And while she's getting her hair done, people are in the comments saying, well, I ordered this from Amir. I haven't gotten my hair yet. What's going on? What's going on? So Amir, this guy, this hairstylist, on the live is having to defend himself on T.S. Madison's show. So he says, well, the policy is, 30 days for the wigs. And TS was like, well, did you tell them that? He was like, no, I'm telling them now since we're live. This is the disclaimer, right? So or this is the disclosure, I should say. And he said, it's going to be up on my website soon. So I want to know from you guys, do you think that this hairstylist showing up on T.S. Madison's live, now T.S. Madison does get hundreds of thousands of views, is that enough disclosure, quote unquote disclosure, to let your clients know that it's going to take, up to 30 days, if not a little bit more, for their product to be received? Do you think that is a correct way to inform people? Let me know what you think about that. I'm going to let you know what I think. Absolutely not. If you are real about business, if you are real about your policies, thank you, Kels Butter, you are going to have your policies written out, okay? They're going to be visible somewhere, whether they are in your shop, whether they are online. You need to let your clients know what to expect from you. If you know that your product or whatever you are making for your clients is going to take time. You need to let them know so that you don't go online on something like TS Madison and get embarrassed because people are saying that they didn't receive their, their product, right? You want to let clients know, here is the process of, receiving your product. Give me at least this much time before you, go all crazy. So this is just a word to the wise. Guys, if you are doing, online stores or services and like that, you want to let your clients know ahead of time, what is the policy to work with you? When is work to be delivered? When is payment to be secured? What is your lateness policy? What is your cancellation policy, right? You don't want these things to come up when they happen. You already want to have a plan in place for if it happens. All right, you want to prepare ahead. So what's that phrase? Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Exactly. So you want to stay ready, have your policies ready so people know what to expect in working from you, and not wait till you on live with TS Madison and getting embarrassed. All right. And another thing that I saw on TS Madison today was that the other day she sang, hi, that Brandon guy, she sang a clip. It was a cappella. If you guys know that song by Leanne Rhymes, How Do I Live Without You? Right? TS Madison, she sings on her show all the time, and she sang a clip of that song. No music, just her voice. Hey, Cassidy. And she got hit with a copyright strike. Right? So, I don't know who the original artist for this. Anyway, Leanne Rhymes' people basically put a copyright strike on T.S. Madison's video because she sang an a cappella clip of How Do I Live Without You. Now, I think this is something that she should fight. But this is the state that we are coming to when it comes to the internet, because copyright law has not caught up with technology, guys. It's really getting hard out here to be able to use content that you want to use, because intellectual property is such a big topic right now. It's such a hot button, especially with social media. Kelsbutter said, wow, I didn't know you couldn't sing what you like. Well, this is the first I'm hearing of it. Like, I know you can't play clips of the song, but just an a cappella version, I don't know if it's because T.S. Madison's voice is so recognizable. Either way, she got hit with a copyright strike. So that just to let y'all know, you need, hey, Envy Crew, hey, Daddy Douglas, you need to be careful out here when you are, using clips in your videos, because you don't want to be hit by a copyright strike, okay? But yes, if you don't know who T.S. Madison is, I do encourage you to go watch her. She is hilarious, all right? Okay. Do we have any questions on that before we move on to the next story? If you've got a question on Clubhouse, raise your hand. If you've got a question on the other platforms, please drop your question and I will answer it. All right. And while you do that, I'm going to move on to the next story so we can keep this rolling. We got a lot to cover tonight. All right. All right. My Grammy lovers, if you watch the Grammys, please raise your hand on Clubhouse, or if you're watching, give me some type of trophy emoji. If you like watching the Grammys, I don't like watching award shows in general. I find them boring at this stage of life. But I know that a lot of people enjoy them, right? And what I will do is the next day I'll go and watch, the performances on the clips and stuff that they do on YouTube. But I'm not sitting through a 2 to 3 hour, video award ceremony. Okay, but the Grammys are, thank you for the trophies. The Grammys are, a staple in American viewing culture. It's a well-known award show, and the name Grammy is very respected, right? So now Grammy is the name of the award, right? But the award is run by the Recording Academy, and the Recording Academy is, trying to put their foot down. The Recording Academy has filed a trademark infringement suit against a liquor company called Grammy's Liquor and Whiskey. Okay. Um, there's not much more information on it except that this liquor company is being sued by the Recording Academy because they are worried about um, brand confusion. They are worried that people might think that this Grammys liquor is associated with the Recording Academy. So I want to know from you guys, do you think that that is a credible fear? Is the Recording Academy just zealously defending their brand, or are they doing a little too much? Now, I will tell you, when I was doing some research on this story, and I was doing my Googles, doing Grammys and liquor and all this thing, I couldn't really find this product, Grammy's Liquor. What I did find were articles that gave you suggestions on drinks, cocktails to make for the Grammys, right? So for me, now when we talk about trademarks, yes, we know that we can have trademarks with the same name in two different categories, like we have Dove soap and Dove chocolate, right? But there are some names that may transcend their industry, like Unilever. Unilever is a company that makes so many things, right? That they have kind of ubiquitous, they're famous everywhere, right? So the Recording Academy is saying, look, we are the Grammys, we run the Grammys, and we don't think that having this liquor out here called Grammys liquor is a good look. One, they might think it's associated with us, and we don't want to be seen as promoting a specific liquor brand, because the Recording Academy, they partner with different brands all the time. So do we think that this is just zealously defending the Grammy trademark, or is the Recording Academy doing a little too much? Clubhouse, if you wanna chime in on this, raise your hand. I'll bring you up. Or Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Let me know what you think. Is the Recording Academy just doing their job, or are they doing too much by going after this Grammys liquor company? What y'all think? What y'all think? I don't have a dog in this fight because I don't drink dark liquor. Y'all can have it, but let me know. For my whiskey drinkers, if you went to the liquor store and you saw a bottle of whiskey that was labeled, that was called Grammys, would you think that it was associated with the Recording Academy? What y'all think? Derek Bailey said they're doing too much. Okay, so I've got one person who thinks that the Recording Academy is doing too much. Anybody on Clubhouse think that they're just zealously defending their brand? Anybody on? Hey, Miss Lashab. Right? Yeah, I really, I don't know. I don't know. I think I would have to see what the bottle looks like. Kels Butter said, I'm neutral on this because you can be slightly confused. You can. Derek Bailey said, of course not. Okay, but let's think about this, right? Let's think about this. We have Magnum condoms, right? And some years ago, the Magnum ice cream came out, and a lot of people, they were making jokes about them being, associated, right? Now we know that they're not, but there may be a little bit of blurring of lines there. But the Grammys is like, look, we don't want no blurs, we don't want no confusion, we don't want no overlap. Okay, so Derek Bailey is saying that they're doing too much. And Kels Butter is saying that you can be slightly confused. So I think that this is something that is up for debate. We'll have to see what the trademark office decides, because that's who is ultimately going to decide whether this is infringing on the Recording Academy's trademark for the Grammys. Okay, so good luck to them. Okay. Third, do we have any questions before we move on? Let me know. Raise your hand on Clubhouse, or put your question in the comment on. Did I miss anybody's questions? Okay. All right. Moving on. If we have any Jasmine Sullivan fans in the house, if you are watching, give me a music emoji. If you are listening, just raise your hand. Y'all, I'm finally going to see Jasmine Sullivan live. I'm going to the Roots picnic in June. I'm very excited. I love Jasmine Sullivan. Her voice is, I can't even describe, right? But I love Jasmine Sullivan. Anyway, um, today I was listening to her latest album, Hotels, and there's a song in there called Price Tags. If you know Jasmine's song Price Tags, thank you, Miss for the heart. Thank you, Kels Butter. If you know Jasmine's song Price Tags, if you're watching, give me a money emoji. If you're on Clubhouse, just raise your hand real quick, right? Um, and in the song Price Tags, which is a song that Jasmine features Anderson .Paak. Anderson .Paak has I can't even call it a phrase. Y'all know Cisco from Drew Hill and how he does his yell, yeah, yeah, right? Anderson .Paak does that in Jasmine Sullivan's song, right? And I looked up in the liner notes, Cisco is not attributed as a writer, but it reminded me of Cisco, thank you, Miss Lashab, and the Thong Song, because the Thong Song, if you ever listen to that song, there is a section where Cisco uses the phrase "living la vida loca," and I don't know if you guys remember, but Cisco had to give up the majority of his profits for that song because he never got permission from Ricky Martin's people to use that line, "living la vida loca." So I thought it was very interesting that Anderson .Paak would use that very recognizable note, that very recognizable run from Cisco in the song, and Cisco is not attributed on that song. Now again, it's only a run, it's not that big, but still it matters, because if Livin' La Vida Loca can get Cisco to have to turn over majority of the profits of his biggest song to date, why can't Cisco, if he hasn't gotten a piece of this song, why can't he come after them? So I don't want to ask you to give an opinion on it, because if you haven't heard it, you can't really give an educated opinion. But let me ask you this question: do you think that should be some type of minimum sampling? Should there be, like, should it be 5 seconds? Should it be 10 seconds? Should there be a minimum of a song sample that you should be able to use without having to, worry about being sued for infringement? Is a 3-second clip too much? Is a run too much? Or, should it all be protected under copyright? No matter if it's like a word, a phrase, whatever. What do you guys think about that? Because if Cisco can get sued for "living la vida loca," right? Why can't Anderson .Paak get sued for "yeah, yeah"? Because that is a very recognizable run from Cisco. If I played that run for you, not me singing it, you would know where it was from. You could name the artist, right? So that's just some food for thought for you, right? Kels Butter said yes. Okay, yeah, I want to actually hold out and see what happens with this. I want to see if Cisco gets in there somewhere. Anyway, but I will keep you updated. Okay? All right. Before we move on to our next story, I want to just do a quick reset for people who may have just come in. If you are new here, this is NPL Legal Dish. This is my Monday broadcast where I teach business and legal concepts using pop culture and celebrity news. If you are in the startup phase of your business and you are looking for some legal guidance, I'm your girl. Go to linktr.ee/NPL Consulting Firm. Book yourself a free 15-minute consultation if you are a first-time client. And also at linktree/NPL Consulting Firm, make sure that you download the free Biz Launch cheat sheet. It will help you choose and start your dream business in 7 days or less. All right? Okay. Moving on. Any Katy Perry fans in the house? If you're a Katy Perry fan, give me a candy emoji. If you're watching or if you're listening, just give me a quick hand raise. I'm not much of a Katy Perry fan today, but I was a few years ago. One of her songs that I love is "Dark Horse." If you know the song Dark Horse, give me a horse emoji in the comments. Just raise your hand on Clubhouse. Um, and I've actually talked about this story a few times. Katy Perry was sued a few years ago over the song Dark Horse by a gospel artist by the name of Marcus Gray. His artist name is Flames. Marcus made a song called Joyful Noise, right? And he said that Katy Perry stole the beat for his song, for her Dark Horse song. And I listened to video, there was stuff on YouTube comparing the two songs, and I did hear similarities. And originally, Marcus Gray, he won a judgment against Katy Perry. He won, the jury awarded him $2.8 million, right? So they had a jury trial, and the 12 people said, you know what? Flames deserves this money. $2.8 million to him. But the judge said, you know what? No, I overturn this. If you didn't know, a judge has the power to overturn a verdict if they think that it is wrong. So the judge basically said, look, the similarities between this song are basic building blocks. If we were to allow this artist to win this $2.8 million judgment, it would really co-opt and cripple, creativity in the music space, because, if you can get propriety over a two-note sequence, it just makes things more complicated. So Katy Perry was freed from this judgment, and her label no longer have to pay Marcus Gray $2.8 million. Okay. Yeah. So if you are ever accusing someone for copyright infringement, you want to make sure that it is a clear copy. And that brings us to our next story, which is a continuation of something we talked about last week. Last week we talked about Dua Lipa being sued by a Florida reggae band for her song Levitating, right? And when I listened to the two songs, they sounded very similar. But Dua Lipa is being sued by another group of artists for the same song. Two songwriters by the name of Russell Brown and Sandy Linzer, they wrote a song in the 50s called Wiggle and Giggle All Night. And it's not so much the notes of the song, it's the cadence of how they sing the words. I encourage you guys to, if you want to, go look up on YouTube the song Wiggle and Giggle All Night, and then listen to Dua Lipa's Levitating. Listen to how she performs the lyrics and how the lyrics are performed in Wiggle and Giggle All Night. And I think that there is, a lot of similarity. Now, Dua Lipa has been very transparent about the fact that she was influenced, by the 80s and older styles, and she tried to incorporate that. But there is a fine line between inspiration and infringement. And I think that in this case, Dua Lipa may have overstepped that line. So, she might have to, her and her label might have to come off some pretty big coins, because that song was, it's very popular. I did talk about the story. Last week we talked about Dua Lipa being sued by Article Sound. They're a Florida reggae group. That's one group. But now she's being sued by another group of artists over the song. Same song, two different lawsuits. Okay. All right. All right. So now, okay, we are moving right along. Go us. All right. Any questions about Dua Lipa before we move on? Or music infringement? Kels Butter said it sounds like she's just stealing. Right. It's like, at least give people, why couldn't you just get the licensing? Why couldn't you just say, hey, we like your music, we want to use this, and just pay it? And again, I'm letting you guys know this is why it's important to protect your intellectual property, your trademarks or copyrights, because a lot of big brands out here, a lot of people with a lot of money, they are looking to steal from smaller, less well-known artists and creatives because they are banking on the fact that you don't have your intellectual property in order. Okay? All right. Hey, Celeste. Again, I want to remind you guys, I did an interview with Celeste, the therapist. The link is, if you go to linktr.ee/nplconsultingfirm, you can hear it. We had a great time. Okay. Derek Bailey, the Katy Perry story. Yeah, I did talk about the Katy Perry story. It was like last year, but there was an update. So I wanted to let you guys know that. Okay. All right. Moving on to our next story of the evening. Now, I'm sure, we all are music lovers here. You have some type of song you like, and sometimes we can't hear the lyrics. However it's performed, we want to know what the words are, so we go online and Google song lyrics. If you have ever Googled song lyrics, raise your hand on Clubhouse, or just give me a hand raise on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube if you have ever Googled lyrics. Okay? I Google lyrics all the time. And a lot of times when you Google the lyrics, the lyrics will just show up on the page, right? You don't necessarily have to hit a link. Google will just pull up the lyrics for you. Thank you for all the hand raises. There is a company that specializes in song lyrics called Genius Lyrics, right? I'm sure you've run across them. Hey, I'm sure you've run across them as you in your searches for lyrics online. Genius Lyrics is one of the bigger ones. They sued Google for copyright infringement because they said that Google was taking their lyrics and posting it in their results and not giving them credit. So they sued them. Celeste uses Genius Lyrics. So they sued them for copyright infringement. Why do you think the court said Genius Lyrics no? Why do you think the court told this lyric company, no, you cannot sue Google for copyright infringement for posting these lyrics, in their results? Does anybody want to take a guess as to why the court said Google is not wrong to do this? Anybody? Clubhouse, raise your hand if you want to come up and let your voice be heard. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Why do you think the court might have said, you know what? There's no copyright infringement here. What Google's doing is just fine. Celeste said, because they're on the internet and it's not their lyrics. So the second half, yes. Derek Bailey said, because you can't be Googled. No, it's not their lyrics. Genius Lyrics, they are basically taking someone else's copyright and posting it on their website. They didn't make these lyrics up. Kels Butter said because they probably didn't have their stuff in order. 76 Green Grade said because they don't own the rights to the song. Absolute. For y'all who said they don't own the rights to the song, whatever variation of that, that's absolutely right. Genius Lyrics has no rights to these songs. All you're doing is posting the lyrics. You didn't write the song. You don't have a copyright claim to it. Nothing. So the court said, look, all Google has to do is say it came from Genius Lyrics. Celeste said, not mad at the hustle from Genius Lyrics. But so the court said, Google's not doing anything wrong here. Google is just reposting information that is free out there and that you don't own. The only people who could probably sue Google for the lyrics are the actual copyright owners of the song lyrics, right? So, yeah, so I just wanted to let you guys understand that if you are going to sue for copyright infringement, you need to have a copyright claim. You can't claim infringement on behalf of someone else, or you can't claim infringement on something that you copied, all right? So continue to look up your Google lyrics in peace. All right? Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more stories, and I think we can get them done. We might go a little bit over 9 o'clock, but that's okay. All right. So I'm sure you guys have heard that there's a little bit of a kerfuffle going on, in Ukraine right now between Russia and Ukraine. Um, it's not the most pleasant thing. There's war going on out there, and countries have stepped in to try and aid Ukraine, by cutting off Russia financially. People like MasterCard and Visa cut off their services in Russia. McDonald's shut down all their restaurants. A lot of businesses that were operating in Russia that are not based in Russia have basically cut off their services. They're like, we don't bang with Russia no more. Shut down the studio, right? And these are big companies that have, big names. McDonald's, what else? McDonald's, Peppa Pig, right? Even Peppa Pig. Basically, Russia is saying, because y'all are trying to be shady with us, because you're trying to cut us out, we are going to ignore all of your intellectual property, and we're going to let our people take it over. So if somebody wants to open up a McDonald's restaurant in Russia, they can do so, and McDonald's can't, Russia's not going to do anything about it if McDonald's tries to sue people for trademark infringement in Russia. Peppa Pig right now, somebody in Russia could make their own Peppa Pig and broadcast it on Russian TV, and the Russian government isn't going to say anything. They basically said, if you are going to try and sanction us, we are not going to respect any of your intellectual property. So now this could be a problem, this would be a problem for these brands because these brands are these companies may be operating off book. It's not going to be the same quality that they demand of their, rightful franchisees and people who have the right to do these things. So intellectual property can be used as a weapon, even in war. Russia's like, you gonna cut off our money, we're gonna cut off your money too. So they basically said, we're not respecting any of your intellectual property. Okay. So that is Russia's way of getting back at the people who are trying to, I guess, support Ukraine. I'm not going to give my opinions on this situation. They are many and varied and, for different reasons. But, feel how you want to feel about it. But moving on to our next story of the evening. Have any of you ever watched the HBO show Ballers? It starred Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. If you ever watched Ballers, please give me some type of sports ball emoji or just raise your hands on Clubhouse, okay? If you ever watched Ballers, I never watched it, but from what I can tell, it was a fictional representation of the NFL, right? And they used NFL logo, the names, the sports teams' names, all of that, right? And HBO never got the NFL's permission to use the team's name. Now, had the NFL wanted to be petty, they could have sued, Ballers for trademark infringement and been like, you don't have the right to use our logos because the NFL logo, the NFL team names, all of that is intellectual property, right? It's me, Celeste. I'm sorry. I need you to continue your question. Anyway, so, Ballers, you're shocked. Yeah. So HBO, they use the NFL logos. NFL didn't say anything. They let the show go. I didn't watch it, so I'm not sure what the plot is. But anyway, the NFL let them have their way. Now, HBO has come out with another show called Winning Time. Is anybody familiar with this show, Winning Time? Basically, it is the NBA version of Ballers set in the 80s, right? And the NBA is not happy with the way that they were portrayed on this new show on HBO. Now, Now, uh, Warner Media. Why do you, now, the NBA has not filed a lawsuit against HBO, but they have released a statement saying they are not affiliated with this program, and they basically don't support it, right? Why do you think the NBA is going this route, as just basically putting out a statement rather than suing HBO for trademark infringement? Why do you think the NBA would rather just put out this statement than go to court with the NBA? Hold on, Melissa Ehrman has something to say. I'm going to invite her on as a speaker. Or maybe you were just raising your hand. Did I do this right? Come on up, Melissa. Okay. Maybe I was wrong. Hold on. I have somebody said a chat. Oh, thank you, Danya. Danya said great information. Did I do this? Okay. So I guess, hey, Fluffy Choco Drop. So I think Melissa was just letting me know that she's heard of the show, right? So why do we think that the NBA doesn't want to go to court with HBO over this show that they do not like, and that HBO has not sought their approval to use? Stop breaking the clubhouse. Stop breaking. Has not sought their approval to use. Why do you think they don't want to? They don't want to fight it in court. Derek Bailey said the NBA in the 80s was a drug den. 80% of the players were on coke. Don't know if the show is showing that. Derek, your sports savvy is unmatched. That is exactly why. The NBA, this show is basically portraying the NBA in the 80s, right? Which was when there was like Derek said, it was a lot of drug use. There was a lot of crazy stuff going on in the NBA. The NBA does not want to acknowledge this. And if they were to go to court and say, hey, they're talking about our story, right? They would have to admit that these things were happening. And not only that, there would be a fair use argument, because if it happened, they're not lying about it, right? So the NBA basically doesn't want to call attention to themselves and what was really happening in the NBA during that time. So they're basically just, they just, instead of filing a lawsuit, they just put a note on the refrigerator saying, hey girl, we really don't like this, okay? So I said, oh wow, that makes sense. Thank you, Derek. You got that right on the nose. The NBA does not want to have to admit to the stuff that was happening in the NBA during the 80s, right? So they're not suing HBO. They're just saying, we don't have anything to do with this production, because they don't want to have to admit that people were in there doing coke all the time. Anyway, so if you watch Winning Time, keep that in mind, all right? Okay. Before we move on to our final three stories, for anybody who may have recently come in, you are watching and listening to NPL Legal Dish. This is my Monday broadcast where I teach business and legal concepts using pop culture and celebrity news. This month we are focusing on contracts. Contracts are the lifeblood of your business. They will help you not get left holding the bag and make sure that you're getting what's yours. If you need help with contracts for your business, DM me. I have special rates where you can get 3 legal documents for the price of 2. So can't wait to hear from you. Go to linktr.ee/nplconsultingfirm. Get with your girl. All right. Okay. Moving on to our final 3 stories of the evening. All right. Okay. Football fans, give me a football emoji. All right. Now we all know the GOAT, Tom Brady. He retired recently after the last Super Bowl. Y'all know I'm a Tom Brady stan. I am from Boston, Massachusetts. I have been a Patriots fan my whole life. I don't want to hear your guff. All right. Patriots, 6 rings. Talk to me when you got 6. All right. But anyway, Tom Brady, he, after several years, is finally out of the NFL. He's out the game. He retired. But by no means is Tom slowing down. Tom Brady I know you're not booing Tom Brady over here, 76 Grip Gang. You know how I feel about him. um, Anyway, but Tom Brady, he's not slowing down when it comes to business. Tom Brady has filed 26 trademarks, everything from food to furniture. Yes, Celeste, that's right, Tom Brady. Everything from food to furniture. Tom said, look, this name rings bells, and he's back. What you mean he's back? What? He's back? Okay, y'all need to let me know. I didn't hear this. Whether or not he's back, Tom has filed 26 trademarks. All right. He said, "My name rings bells. You're gonna want this stuff." He's out of. Okay, I did not realize he came out. He's literally been retired for like a month. Okay. All right, so I guess Tom Brady unretired. He pulled a Michael Jordan. But yeah, either way, he's filed 26 trademarks. So be prepared to see a lot of Tom Brady this happened yesterday. Okay. Be prepared to see a lot of Tom Brady paraphernalia coming out here in, lots of different categories. It's not just sports, it's all types of stuff. I've seen Tom Brady in commercials for Hertz, for Uggs, for hair products, so who knows what he might come out with. But listen, Tom's coming back. Okay. Look, Bill Belichick did not give him his respect. Okay. Tampa Bay is giving Tom his respect. But yes, that's right. The GOAT. Okay. So good luck to Tom and his 26 trademark applications. All right. Next story. That 2 months at home with the wife was too much for. Listen, who is calling me? Wow. Anyway, so so Tom has his 26 trademarks. Anyway, moving on to our next story. I don't know if any of y'all have ever been to the state of Nebraska. Has anybody ever heard of the University of Nebraska, attended University of Nebraska, any of that? Anybody got any ties to Nebraska? Just give me an N in the comments or raise your hand real quick in the stories. Like most schools, the state of Nebraska has, a state university, University of Nebraska. And recently, I guess they have some political races happening there, where there are multiple Republican candidates who have used the University of Nebraska logo in their political campaigns. You can't hear me? Hold on. Crap. Hold on, Clubhouse and everybody else. Instagram said they can't hear me. Okay, guys, I'm gonna close this out for like real quick and then put it back on. Okay, so just hold tight. And I know why this is happening. End now. Share. Comrade. Ronald. McDonald. Part 1. Okay. There we go. And let's go live again. Okay. My friends on Clubhouse, thank you for your patience. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, YouTube, Instagram. We're back up, okay? All right. So, University of Nebraska, they have been showing up in a lot of Republican candidates' political campaign commercials, right? And University of Nebraska, hey guys, thank you for coming back. University of Nebraska doesn't like it. They have issued cease and desist letters to these Republican candidates, asking them not to have the University of Nebraska logo in their political campaigns. Why do you think the University of Nebraska does not want to be included in political campaigns? Who wants to take a guess? Why doesn't the University of Nebraska want these politicians using their logos in their political campaigns? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? While you guys let me know what you think, I'll tell you what I think. Well, not what I think, but what I read. The University of Nebraska, they are a state school. They don't want to be seen as aligning with one side or the other. They are an educational institution, and while they may have their opinions, they do not, yes, it does bother their status as a nonprofit because they are not a political action committee. So they do not want to be seen as promoting one party or the other. So they have asked these politicians, please don't wear our paraphernalia, don't wear our sweaters, don't put our logo. They're basically like, my name's Bennett and I ain't in it. Don't put me in your political campaigns. So University of Nebraska, they have the right to do that because it is their trademark and they own it. When you have your trademark, you get to say who can use it and who can't. So that's why it's important to own your mark, okay? And our last story of the evening, I think we will just make it, okay? Did anybody see the Kanye documentary called Genius? Look, y'all, I'm going to tell y'all the truth. I don't really bang with Kanye these days. I recognize his, his creativity and his genius in music, but it's me, Celeste, that even if they buy the clothing, they can buy the clothing. The University of Nebraska just said, please don't wear it in your political ads. That's what they said. They said you could buy it, you could wear it on Sunday, you could wear it to the barbecue, but please don't wear it on your political campaign. That's all they said. Okay? All right. So going back to Kanye, did anybody see the documentary? You haven't watched it, Derek? Okay. Well, if you didn't know, the hey Kels Butter, the people who the footage that you saw of Kanye in the documentary, much of it was recorded by these two gentlemen named Cootie and Chike. Cootie and Chike, they are film producers and they produced Kanye's first big hit, Through the Wire, that video, right? And they have just been, taking video content of Kanye since then. And because they, took all this content and it was a lot and it was very interesting and profound, Netflix wanted this content so they could make the documentary. And Cootie and Chike were paid $30 million to provide this footage to Netflix. $30 million over information that they owned. Guys, this is the power of intellectual property. These two men will never have to work another day in their lives if they don't want to, because they not only documented, but they protected their information, okay? So the two guys who originally did the video for the Through the Wire video they were paid $30 million to provide Netflix with the footage for the Genius documentary, okay? So I just wanted to leave y'all on a high note for for intellectual property and just business in general. Guys, I do these stories so that we can demonstrate the aspects of business that you really need to think about and take care of, all right? Intellectual property is super important. Contracts are super important. Your brand is super important. Yes, this show is fun, but it's also educational. I want y'all to be bosses out in the street and go into these rooms and these situations confidently. Oh, thank you, Celeste. So this is where we are going to end tonight. Thank you guys for your participation, for your energy. Thank you for the compliments. We will be back here next week with more stories. If you find anything that you want me to talk about, please, please, please send it my way. I love it when you send me stories. Make sure that you pick up the Biz Launch cheat sheet at linktree/NPL Consulting Firm. If you are a first-time client, make sure you book your free 15-minute consultation at linktree/NPL Consulting Firm. And just check linktree/NPL Consulting Firm out in general for what's going on with me. It is in my Clubhouse bio, Instagram, Facebook. It's everywhere, all right? So this is where I'm going to leave you guys. We're an hour in. I try to keep this show at an hour. If you have any questions that you want to ask me, DM them to me. And I will see and hear y'all next week. Bye.